Pink Poodle Crafts, join the Poodle Pack. It's time to get creative and make you laugh. Make your own art today. Pink Poodle Crafts is the way.
What a good boy. Hey crafty family, it is me. And today we are going to make a journal cover like this one. This is made out of fabric. It was my first time ever sewing. I've sewn fabric covers before, but I've never done a patchwork like this. Like this is all patches of Christmas fabric that was gifted to me. So I had never done that before. So this was the first time. And I think for my first time, it came out really good. And I even put a pocket here because I'm going to put a tag in here, but I haven't done that part yet. I made even the little ties that go through it. And then on the inside, I lined it with red fabric. I put some lace on it. I did not sew the lace. I glued the lace. And then there's 3 signatures, and there's lots of little goodies in this journal. If you are one of my Patreons, you would have seen me do all of the inside of this journal, and even the outside, because my Patreon people got to see the guinea pig, you know, me doing it for the first time through a live stream. And then when I did all this part, it's even got a little extra book in it. It's got a little tag in a tuck spot. It's got another tag here. It's got all kinds of things. A pocket here. I'm still not done putting stuff in it yet. A pocket here. A little doodad there. I'm not done putting stuff in it. It's got a little paper here. It's got another card here. Why is that stuck together? I don't know why it's stuck together. But anyway, it is. So I guess deal with it. I guess I have to deal with it. Pocket here. Little tuck spots under there. You know, and so forth and so on. And it's got a ton of little tabs. It's got these little tabs that like are made of like flashcards that I sized down and printed out. And then it's got some little lace tabs, and it's got some fabric tabs, and where are the fabric tabs? There's one, and then it's got tabs on the top. Some of them are for tags, and others are just there to be there. So yeah, so it's a 3 signature journal, and it's sewn in like this. I just put a string in, and then would tie it in the center just with 2 holes, and then did the same thing down at the bottom. Put the string in, and then tied it in the center. So it was very simple. I didn't have to like stitch anything necessarily. So it looks cool, but it was very easy to do. So hopefully we're going to get through all the parts, and you're going to get to see everything. Some of this might get done in a live stream, but for this first part, where I'm showing you how I'm doing the cover, that's going to be obviously a video. And then when I do the inside, I'll do an actual public live stream probably to do this, and a lot of embellishing, because it might be a long video or a long live stream, so you can watch it in sections if you want. But anyway, so that's that. It's for Christmas, and it's going to be also available in my auction that I'm having this weekend on Saturday. I'm going to be having an auction, and that will be one of the items that gets auctioned off. All right, so I started off with a piece of fairly heavy muslin, linen. I don't know what this is called, but I guess it's muslin. I don't know. It's not like the super thin muslin, but it's not, I mean, it's not super thick. It's just a nice weight. And I sized it, and then the same with the other cover. It's 15 inches by 9 inches. 15 by 9. So that's the and you don't have to be perfect about that. You can just be as the best you know, just do the best you can to get it cut. I hate cutting fabric because I can never cut it evenly. And I have a thing that actually a rotary cutter, not like the kind of rotary cutter like this rotary cutter, but like it looks like my paper cutter. It looks something like this, except it's just the rotary part and it sits on another mat, and you put this part onto the fabric on the cutting mat, and you roll it, and it cuts the fabric perfect, and it works fantastic. So that's very helpful for me because I hate cutting fabric because I suck at getting it straight. I don't know how to get it straight. So that's the only way I can do it is with that rotary cutter. So there is going to be a very slight difference in how I do this cover to how I do the one that I did here. It's an upgraded version slightly. Because I learned some things while making this one, since this was my guinea pig, my first one, which is why I wanted to save doing the actual one for a video for you guys. But I did all of this in my Patreon, so they got to see all my trial and errors. But the cover is going to be slightly different, and I'll kind of show you that as I get to that point. It's only going to be, it's like such a slight difference that it doesn't make like the look of it really look, well, I mean, not really. Like it's not anything of a big deal. So this time I'm taking blue Christmas fabrics. Last time I did I keep bringing this back over, but I love it, so why not? No, but I did all like the reds and the greens and the, typical Christmas stuff. And then I also have, these blue fabrics, which I actually meant to go look and see if I had any more of the blue fabrics. So I may go do that real quick because I think, how many different ones did I use on here? I used like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, 11, 12. I think like 12. And I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to stop the video for a second. I'm going to run and see if I can find a couple more blue pieces because I think I have some blue that might not necessarily be all Christmas, but it'll work. And I can kind of weave it in here and make it look cool. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I found a piece of silver, which that can be worked into this, which is nice. Piece of silver. I found this, which I can overlay over one of the more plain fabrics if I want to add like a piece of this and then another piece where I overlay that. So there's that. That'll change it up a little bit. Then I have this piece of lace, which will also, can act as a piece of fabric over top of one of these or, over top of this to change it up, whatever. I've got some blue and white fabric, which will add a little presto changeo to the situation. And I've got this, which is a piece of sari fabric, which I think would be awesome to also add in. So, and then I've got a few things to potentially maybe add in. I've got this, which is like a dark piece, a dark blue with some gold. Obviously the whole thing can't go, so I would just do like maybe half of it somewhere, or maybe this will be like my pocket on the front. I'm not sure if I'll even use this. Not sure, it depends. And then I've got this, which also can adorn it, somewhere on it. I can put this, but that'll be at a later stage because I'd likely glue that on. So I have options, which is nice. So now what I do is I just start cutting random pieces of fabric and making little like squares and, ones that are not perfectly square. Some are rectangle-y. I just kind of did whatever and just made some squares. And I usually did like at least 2 pieces or at least on the front cover and the back cover, like I tried to do the same fabrics, not the same like thing, not the exact same positioning or anything, but like, in other words, if I used a piece of this on the front, I would use it on the back at least once. So maybe I'll just cut this one in half. And I'm literally like, I'm not even paying attention to how square they are, nothing. I'm just cutting. I'm at least going to cut one of each piece and then see where I need filler fabric. Because I'm sure I will. This is my favorite, the little Santa with in the moon, like the moon Santas. Love that. That was a focal point for my for here. I made sure to sew a little piece here of that. Who knows, I may do that again or just patch them in. I don't know. It depends on, you know, what I end up with here. But it was just, it's such a cute fabric because I have it in this color and then I had it in the red. So here's where you start figuring things out. Now, my cover is going to be here, but keep in mind that some of this is my spine. So how I can gauge it is, let's see, how much of it is my cover. So you're going to say that about 6.5 to about 6 3/4 really. Is your cover. So 6 and right there. So this here is insignificant here. So basically anything you want on your cover, you're just going to want to figure out where your cover will be. And then when you lay everything out, you can kind of figure out, and I'm going to put a mark here so that I know where my cover is, and I have a stabilo, and it's not going to, like I said, it's not going to show through. So you know, I'm just going to take this and mark it lightly here and just give me an idea of where my cover is so that when I lay it out flat, I know that this is my cover. So anything I want to really show or showcase on the journal, I'm going to put here because that's going to be my cover. So for instance, if I want, I'm going to be putting another pocket on the front, but you know, I might want to put Santa down here and, you know, depending on where I'm going to put the pocket, unless, you know, it's not going to show up very well, and then I'll put the pocket somewhere else maybe. And I could put like this back here. And I think I decided, how did I decide I was going to do this? I was going to go over the thing. So this one I'm probably going to put, because I'm going to put that pocket here. So that's the pocket's going to be my showcased piece. So what I might do is put this here and put this up here or like here, because I'm going to put let me iron this so that it'll lay flat. This is cut on a crease here, or just get this sucker to lay flat for me. That's why I have my iron handy, because we're going to be doing that as well. Same with this little guy. Just give him a quick iron. So maybe I'll center him in the back, like on the back cover, you know, and I'll stick this one like this over here because I want it to hang over this time. Last time I didn't do that. This is where I'm doing it slightly different because I know how I want to do it now that I've done it that way. So since I know my pocket's going to go like in the middle, so I might actually move this over here. So I want at least about 1 inch to go over the edge. Since I know my pocket's going to go here, or actually I might lower it down some, so maybe I'll put, this is where you got to like finagle and figure out what you want to do. So I might put this here since I want the whole thing to kind of show, like at least 3 of these trees. I don't care about that one so much. If I were to put it up here, I'd have to cut off top of it because it'll be folding over so you won't see it. So I'm going to do it like this. And then what I can do is take like a piece of this and have this over here and off the edge by 1 inch. Doesn't matter. Okay. So that can be that piece there. This can hang off there. You're also going to need something Well, here's what I did. You can use a little bit of fabric glue if you're real careful that it's not going to come through your fabric. But if it's a huge help if you can get yourself some of this. It's called Bow Nash, and it's a fuse-it powder. It's basically like a fusible webbing, but it's in a powder form. And what's cool about this is once I get the whole thing laid out, I'm going to carefully lift parts of it up and sprinkle this stuff all underneath of it. And this way I don't have to move the whole thing off or take a picture of it to remember where everything is, to put some sort of fusible webbing down, to then replace everything or put, you know what I mean? Like I don't have to mess with it. So this will work. Like I'll show you how that works, and you can get it on Amazon. I'll put a link below in the description where you can get it at. I'm going to put this piece here actually. But I'll put a link where you can get the Bow Nash at, because it's definitely easy to use. I'm not a seamstress, so somebody else might have an easier idea. It doesn't matter. Whatever works for you. This works fantastic for me. So it's fine. You know, I don't feel that anything else is going to be much easier than that, because it's quite easy to use that stuff. Another piece that is crinkled and folded. Now, I like the bird on this one, so what I might do is cut that off and maybe just trim this so it's a little bit more even, but it doesn't have to be perfect. And so we can put the bird over here maybe, or I don't care if maybe the bird can go on the spine. That would be cool. If the bird was like on the spine, we'll put it like in the middle. That would be kind of cool. And let's see, we can put this going off of here. And I don't care if what goes over the spine or whatever, as long as it's on there. Doesn't matter. I didn't really pay too much attention to much when I did this. And then you can just figure out what you want to overlap. And now if I was going to overlap it, I just try to eyeball it and make sure it's kind of straight. If I'm going to overlap it, like, oh, see, I don't want to lose my Santas on that one, so maybe I'll overlap it. And if my pocket's going to go here, you got to keep a lot of things in mind when you're doing this. Maybe I'll do it like, maybe I'll just overlap and lose the bottom of it and do it there, or possibly lose the top. How about if I do it here? This has got a little folded edge too. Dang it. What's it with my fabrics all being folded? So what if I do a piece like that? And then I have two of my trees and not. There we go. Perfect. That'll work, because it can't all be perfect. Another piece that needs to be ironed. It might be easier to iron them all at once and then sit and place them down. Another one here. Let's see, anybody else? Anybody else? Bueller? Iron your little poops down. Okay. This one's got some fudgy corners here. I mean, you do want it to sit flat, so you don't want them to have creases in them. But I do usually iron. I'm going to obviously iron the whole thing when it's done. I'm not going to, that's going to be rough because this is silk. This may not work out so well. That's probably not going to allow me. Yeah, that's not going to work because this is all cotton and then this is silk. And if I try to hold the iron on this to melt the stuff on it, it may. It seems to be holding up. It might not be silk. This one might be polyester, which still you have to be careful, but I think it might be all right. It's holding up. It's not dying, and I have this set high. We'll see. If it doesn't work, we just pull it out. Trial and error, you can always fix anything. Anyway, anywho whatsoever, let's see, did I cut this one yet? No, I did not. So we're going to cut this one. And put snowflakes on the edge there. And we've got our moon Santas. We can put here. Like that. And don't worry about little spaces. We'll fill those in. And let's see. I might take this and cut it in half. And do, and I am going to cover this spot, but I'm going to cover it with probably my, let's see, maybe we'll move that over. Maybe I'll cut that down a little. Because I want that on there. And then I want this here. I probably cut that a little too small. I did. Yeah, that's all right. I'll use it somewhere else. I'll use it like up here. And I'll use it like in here somewhere. We'll put that there. We will put some of this here. I want the little birdie. I'm not going to be able to see the little birdie. It's alright. I can worry about the little birdie so much. Can't worry about every little thing. I just have to keep conscious of where my things are going. So I could put like this here, because like I said, that pocket's going to go in here, so it's going to go in that area, so it's not really going to matter too much. I could put that there. I can put this here. Like so. I can take a piece of this and put it here, under here, and like that. We can take another piece of this and put it over here. I can take a piece of that, put it there. It's a lot of finagling. I can stick this underneath of all of this because, again, it's a piece of filler fabric because there's going to be a pocket. So it doesn't matter too much what's going to go there. Let's see. We got, could put in this piece here so that some of it will show, but getting there. And like I said, pocket will go about here, so none of that will show anyway. Don't matter. It don't matter. So I've got a spot here. I probably want to add some of this here. So I might take this and do this. And like, maybe stick that up there a little more. No, maybe not. Maybe I want to do that. And just stick that like that, really. Just stick it over anywhere. Let me just cut this a little straighter. That might be hard to bend over the thing. So annoying. Alright, now we've got this here. And we can put another piece of this here. And put this. Oh, where's that silver stuff? I didn't do any of this yet. All that's really going to show that is that. So what I can do is cut that in here, tuck it, tuck it, tuck it, tuck it right under there, and it'll get tacked down. And again, I don't know if I can iron that stuff. Can I? That's going to be melty, I think. That might melt. So when I go, what I'll do is I'll have to remember that I'm going to put that there and put the bone ash down first and then tuck that under, and because I'm only going to put the bone ash in the center of each piece, kind of, because I'm going to be sewing around the edges. So I can just tuck that under and do my best to sew it on there. So that'll go there. Let's for now just stick it there so I know. That's going to go there. Yeah, it's kind of, you have to kind of plan things out, and I'm not good at that. I'm kind of a fly by the seat of the pants crafter. So you have to definitely plan out your plan of action has to be calculated and planned out. Well, actually, that has to go up there like that. And this too, I have to check. Yeah, that'll melt too. So I have to also take that up. Or just use like glue stick to put that side down or something. Because I can't really iron it. Because I can get it to stay down with some glue stick until I stitch it. Okay, so that's going to go under there. Okay, everything looks good so far. Let's see, anything I want to change? Yes, I would like some of this here instead of that piece. So I'm going to swap that out, and I'm going to put this up here, like so. And I'm going to put a piece of this under here. And of course I made it too small. And I'm going to put that there. That's good. Finicky stuff. Okay, and then let's see, we've got this piece here, which we're going to cut. We've got some of this we're going to cut. We're going to put a piece of this back here. And we're going to put a piece of, nope, not that. We're going to put a piece of, maybe I'll cut this some so that I can have this here and this here. No, this is going to go over here. So it's going to go there, and this is going to go here. Stop it, jackass. It ain't easy. And some Christmas Santas. The only thing is when you're moving the fabric around and it's like being a jackass and not cooperating as you would want it to. And we'll put some of this. Actually, we'll put some of this here. Where is the plain blue? We need another piece of the plain blue, and then I've got a piece of this as well, and a piece of this. We can put this guy here. I'm gonna cut us a piece of blue. Let's see, I'm gonna have to do this away from the camera because it's gonna be a pain in the ass to cut it. Oh, come on. I have nowhere to lay this because my desk is covered in my journal pieces. I can't lay this on top of it, or else when I pull it up, I'll pull everything up with it. That's the story of my life. Come on, don't make it worse. You're supposed to make it better. Do it on the fabric, it'll work better. Okay. I'm gonna put this under here. But you want them to overlap well. You don't want them to have any space between them. You want them to overlap so that you don't have issues with like ending up with space accidentally in between your pieces, which would suck. That would suck rocks. And then I've got a piece I can put here. Stick it under there. I'm going to stick it that way because it's uneven on that side. And we're going to shimmy it under there as best we can. Like so. I'm going to take a piece of this and we're going to cut it a little, but that's going to go like there-ish, maybe. Potentially, could be, sort of. This could go there if I had a bigger piece. So maybe, let's put this piece under there. Like so. Come on, scissors, don't be a jackass. That piece is like crinkling up. Do 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 do. Okay. All right, so I've got this spot and this spot. I'm just going to be putting a piece of this randomly. I'm going to probably cut it a little. I'm going to be putting that randomly like there. This is going to go here, right? Something like that. No, this one's going to go here, but underneath this one can go over here or over here once I get a piece down, because I'm probably going to use this blue again. Or here we go. I have this, but with this over top, it won't look exactly the same. So that'll work. Or I could put it up here. Yeah, let me put this up here. Sneak this in up over here. Stop it. Okay, so that can go there. Like so. Okay, so we just need that covered. Oopsie, this needs to come down further. Make sure we've got at least a good inch around the edge. So if we don't, I'm going to make sure we do before I do anything. Make sure we have at least an inch-ish. An inch-ish. Okay, so this can get tucked under there when I'm ready for it. That's fine. And then I will use, what else do I not have? Got the snowman one. We have that one. We have that. So yeah, we can just put a piece of plain, just a small piece of plain. And that would be plenty. To hang off the edge and do what it's supposed to do, like so. And then another piece of this. No, this was supposed to go here. Right? Which one was supposed to go where? It doesn't matter, I guess. But we can put that there. Okay. Okay, so that's there, that's there. I could put another piece there, maybe. It's doable. Just to give some extra sparkle, because the blue is kind of boring. Of course, it's not going to hang over very much, but that's okay. the other piece underneath will. Or I can use this piece and use this piece for here. No, I'd rather use that like that. And then just put this one here, like so. And this one here. Fix jolly old Saint Nick. Okay, I'm just gonna attempt to straighten this one out. A little. It's supposed to be that way, maybe. Alright, messy mess. Clean up my mess. Whoops, and pull these all out of place while I do it. Fabulous. Goodness gracious. Okay. Whew. Made a mess. Okay. So now I have to remember that a silver piece goes there, a silver piece goes there, a silver piece goes there, and that silver piece goes there. And hopefully I might put a piece of material underneath of that because I just feel like the silver piece is so thin that when it's just going to show. I don't know. So we're just going to say screw it and do it and put a piece under there of like the plain blue. Just to be on the safe side that it'll look better. And plus I'll have something to seal down before I sew it. Okay, and then I could put this over top. Which I only put it in one place. I could put it in another place. But I don't think I'm going to bother. It's fine. Okay, so once I get everything where I want it, I'm going to take off the pieces that will potentially melt and piss me off if they melt. I'm going to keep them over to the side of wherever they are supposed to be so I don't lose them. So then the trick here is to make sure everything is how you want it. I'm feeling for the edge to make sure I have enough around the edge. It looks good. Nope, not here, I don't. And then that's gonna mess up. That's going to be a touchy one right there because it's barely got me any room. So I may have to adjust that because between Santa and that, unless I move that down a hair, which I may have to do, like move this, slide this down just a little bit, slide that down some. Adjust all of that under there. And then I can slide this down some. And stick that with enough leeway around it. This is fun, right? It gets to be like you want to pull your hair out sometimes. That's a better way to put it, like that. And this can go down further. And that can go down further. And that can go like that. And then this can go like this, just randomly. Okay, good. I think it's good. So now what we do is we take our Bon Ash, and like I said, it's a granule powder that you shake. And I just start pretty much lifting and getting to the middle and just putting some of this down. And yeah, I don't need like a ridiculous ton of it, but just enough, because it's basically a glue, just enough to hold everything in place so that when I sew it, it's not shifting and I don't have to pin anything, which is the fantastic part about it. So if I can just lift things up like this and get it under there without too much of a issue, that's great. Sometimes I might have to pull a piece off and blow it, some of it off, because it gets on top and we don't want it on top. So if you have to kind of scooch it off, then that's what you got to do. Sometimes it might mess things up, but eventually it'll work itself out and you'll get it in there where you want it. You can take a paintbrush like this and scooch off any of the excess, but wait till you're done. There's no point in doing it now. I'll take that off for a second and just start getting underneath of the other areas that I haven't gotten under yet. It's a little persnickety, but once you get it there, it works out. It does make it a lot easier. Once you get it situated, it will make it easier. I promise. And it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't have to hold down like every bit of it. You're just trying to get the main center part just enough to tack it down so when you lift it up, it doesn't all go all over the place and then, you know, you have big issues. I think I got all of it. I might be missing a spot here or there, but I'm going to assume I got all of it and start kind of brushing off the excess. I got a lot of that over here. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I got to slide a towel underneath here to iron it. Well, I might iron it just like this at first, just to get some parts tacked down before I go getting out a towel. And where was this at? This was here. Okay, I'll put that back in a second. Because you don't want it to stick to your iron. I have to use a piece of parchment. You don't necessarily want it sticking to your iron unless you really don't care about that. That's up to you. I mean, if it's just a little granule, it's not going to kill your fabric. If it's sticking to the top of your fabric, I don't think it's going to be the end of the world. But you don't want wads of it sitting on the top of the fabric. So you just want to either that or be more careful than me when you're sprinkling it down. Which I think I got most of it off. Most. Dang it. Every time I do it, I get more. I'm pulling these out, which I don't want to do. I didn't have this much trouble the first time. Of course, because I'm recording it. Of course I'm going to have more trouble this time because I'm doing it on camera. I mean, duh, that's just the way of the world, ain't it? Anybody that records videos or whatever knows that if something bad's going to happen, it's only going to happen when you're doing it on camera. But when you're doing it not on camera, you'll not have a problem in the world. Not an issue in the world. Not an issue. Okay. Now that that's situated, I get all this off my area and stop pulling the fabric so much. Okay. Everybody is situated. Don't move. So I'm going to put a tad underneath of there, I think. Just a little. Just enough to put it where it can tack down slightly. It doesn't have to tack the whole thing down. It just has to tack it down in one spot is good enough. And same with this. This is going here, right? Yeah, this is going here. Yeah. So all it has to do, tack down right there. And that would be amazing. Amazing. All right. One last granule check. Okay. Now we're going to lay our iron on and hope for the best. Starting over here. And I'm just going to get it tacked down and then I'll put the towel underneath of it. I'll at least start it to get tacked down. And then I'll move it with the towel. I don't want to do it yet because, you know, I'll end up screwing it up type of thing. Just enough to get it started. Hopefully the sari doesn't melt. That's this piece here. I'm checking it. But it's quite thin, so it probably, the bow nash will probably stick to that like pretty easily and quickly. Whereas other things, it's going to take a little more. Tacking yet. Did I get any under there even? You have to leave it on quite a bit longer than you think you do for the stuff to melt. Like literally, you gotta like sit it on there. You should put the parchment paper on. See, that's going to melt, isn't it? Yeah, it's stuck on there though. I don't know what these fabrics will do. Some of them, the cotton's fine, but some of the other ones might not be. Like a little piece of it got stuck. There, it's gone. Let me grab my parchment. That's a better way to do it. Because some of it is going to be different than other pieces. You might want to test your fabric first. I'll get them on there one way or another. They'll get on there, whether I have to, you know, leave some of them off until I sew it down or what, but it'll get on there. I did it with the parchment last time. I don't know why I didn't grab the parchment, because I was being stupid. Because you really need to like leave it on there a minute for like a good 30 seconds or so. And I'm putting some pressure down on it as well. Fun, right? So much fun. Yeah, now it's sticking. Now everything's starting to stick. Stick, stick, stick. Yep, look, it's all sticking. And like I said, it only needs to be tacked. It doesn't need to like be completely solidly down. Because I'm going to sew it. I'm going to sew every piece on. So it just needs to tack it down. Just enough where I can pick it up and it's not going to fall off. That piece is doing, the lace piece is doing better when I just use the parchment and not try to do it directly on it. Use parchment, people. Like I said, do as I say, not as I do. I don't know why I didn't put the parchment. I did it the first time. I guess I just forgot. I just forgot. Or I thought it would be okay without it. One or the other. I'm sure it's probably tacked down now. So now we do the tack test. Tacked, 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 tacked. Now, after you do this first tack test, you pull up all the edges. Oh, that one's not tacked very well. We're going to put just a tad of gouache under there and tack that just a little tad better than what it is. But this powder is pretty cool because it makes it easy to do things like this. I mean, I'm sure there's other things that would work just as well, like fusible webbing stuff, but if you're doing little pieces, I think it's easy to just use that. But then again, I don't know, whatever you got. I mean, that's what I have, so, you know, I don't have fusible webbing. At least I don't think so. I might, actually, but, you know, I could have laid the fusible webbing down on top of the, what do you call it? The stuff. The cream color fabric, the first fabric, and then just laid everything on top of that. I mean, you could do it a million ways. There we go. It tacked right there. I put it like right there, and that's where it tacked. That's all it needs to tack. Let's see. Tacked. This is tacked, just not on that edge, but it's not really tacked at all, honestly. That one isn't, but that's... Oh, wait a minute. What happened here? I really have a missing piece here. Why is that so far down? I'm glad that's not tacked for a second. We gotta make sure we get everything we want here under where we want it. So I will have to refix. I don't think I put any bone ash underneath this piece, to be honest. I don't think I did. Alright, that's gotta go there. And there. And that's tacked there. Yeah, because I got that piece, but I didn't get any underneath of there. Under this piece, which keeps getting stuck. Stay. And then under this piece, we're just going to stick it. Stop it. Freaking jackass. Stop being difficult, fool. And this. I don't think I put any under that either. Okay. There. Paper back. Oh wait, it still ain't tacked. It still ain't right. It's still like crooked or something. I don't know. There we go. Okay. We're just going to sit it right there. Right there, where it's not tacked down all the way, or enough. Now it's tacked. Alright. Can't use my silver pieces. Alright, now the test is... There we go. This piece is a little flimmy floppy, but that's because it only tacked here, and that's okay. I mean, I could go back and put just a tad underneath of there. Is that piece upside down? Oh, I'm glad it didn't tack all the way. Let me fix that. I think it's upside down. You jackass. Meaning me. There. It didn't tack down. I didn't have it tacked down very much, but I also had it upside down too. That's kind of good that it didn't tack down all the way, although it did get some bone ash there. Well. I could put it underneath of there. Like so. There we go. I'll tack it a little bit right here. Okay, that's the parchment. Trial and error. Did I? No. Okay. I thought I moved it. It felt like the whole thing moved. Protect. Okay. Do the test. Boop, boop, boop. See? Everything's good. I don't care if it flaps up a little. As long as it don't fall off. That's my thing. Then we're good. Okay. So now, now I'm going to give it a good iron across the whole thing. But I'm going to put a towel underneath. And just make sure everything is good. I can move that out of the way now. I can also clean off the bone ash, which is all over the place here. Because it is everywhere. I got it everywhere. That's the only downfall, is it's messy, kind of like embossing powder would be messy. It just gets everywhere. Okay, so let me fold this old towel that I have that got discolored because somebody washed it with the bleach. And my old roommate did. He was an idiot. Okay. Is that the way it goes? Yeah. Okay. Now we can give it a good just iron. Just make sure everything's flattened out and good. Nothing too drastic. We can even turn it over and make sure the bone ash is all melted from this side as well. Go around and just make sure that there's no massive pieces sticking up. Like that little corner, who cares about that, you know, a little bit doesn't matter. That should be fine. Should be good. I shouldn't need to have that on anymore for a while. Okay. Oh, a little wrinkly piece. Get back over there, wrinkly piece. No wrinkling. No wrinkling, sir. Excuse me. Okay, so now that that's down, I'm going to put a little nash here. Put that back on. I missed this spot. I'm just going to... After I do this, this is where we're going to combat the overhang. Before I sew the rest of it, we're going to work with the overhang on the edges. And actually, I just thought of something. I wonder, I might have something that I can use to help that little overhang besides glue, because I was like thinking I'd glue it, but I actually might have a roll of the thin fusible webbing. I mean, the last time, basically, I just cut it off all the way around. And the reason why I don't want to do that is not that this really matters that much at all, and you don't really notice it, but I was trying to see, like, you see how you could see the, like, the light colored fabric in between? That's this stuff here. And that's from just cutting it on the edge. And I thought, well, this time I want to try doing it without that problem. So now we're tacked down there, and we're good. Okay. So I wanted to try to do it without that. So I'm going to iron all of this over so it just stays folded over. And then when I sew it around, you know, I could probably use just a little bone ash would probably do that trick. But I might have had a little piece of fusible webbing I may stop and go look and see if I have, or if I was just dreaming that in my head somehow. For some reason, I just feel like at the Creative Reuse, I had gotten a piece of that stuff. Or not a piece, but a roll of that stuff. So hold on, let me go look and see if I have it. Okay, I got it. I knew I had some. I knew it. I knew it. I don't know why I thought I grabbed some at the Creative Reuse the last, like, is this just a plastic covering? Okay, I was going to say, I don't know. I've never used it on a roll before. I've used it on a thing. So this is called Stitch Witchery or something. I've heard of that. Never use this brand. I don't know if that's just a brand or what. All right, what happened here? I had the edge and then I lost the edge. What's happening? I need my glasses. I can't see a damn thing on this thing to see where the end is. Okay. Let's just pull that off. There we go. That's what we're looking for. Yeah, this looks like regular fusible webbing that I've used before, but see, this is what's cool. I can just stick it all the way around, and it's like, the right length and everything, and just do it piece by piece, and do exactly what I need to do with it. Okay, as far as the corners go, I will probably have to cut them. I will cut them. I'm trying to think of how I would want to cut them. So that's something I've not done before. Something like that, leaving a little space. We'll try it and see if that works out the way I want it to. If not, oh well. But I'm going to start with piece by piece and give it a, excuse you, just going to give it a crease first to get it to stay. Not necessarily to bond it, but just to get it to stay put. Seems easy enough. Right. I just want to get it along the edge. Get it nice and pulled along the edge there. My scissors go. I dropped them. And this is what I wanted to do last time, but did not do it because, of course, I didn't know how to go about it at that time. I kind of like was just getting used to getting things done. And this is going to be covered on the inside and stitched all the way around, so it doesn't matter, what it looks like on this side, as long as it's just tacked down enough. I will just bring that piece in a little, like so. I think that'll be all right. Or I can just kind of, I think, I fold it like that. So my brain wants to bleed. Let's try that. Look at that. Look at that. How fancy. I'm getting all fancy now. I'm fancying it up. I didn't leave very much on this edge. I'll make it work, but good Lord. I'll wait. I'll save that for last. Save the hard edge for last. And I got plenty to work with here to the point where it's like too much. I might even cut some of this off. But for some reason, I somehow didn't leave myself enough. That's better. That's a better corner there. I'm getting better at the corner thing. Okay, scissors move. I can't see what I'm doing. I'm trying to use the side of the iron because I don't want to go all the way across because some of the fusible webbing is sticking out. So I don't want to hit it with my iron, and I don't feel like using parchment because I want to be able to see exactly where I'm creasing these pieces because I want them to crease snugly against this white fabric. I'm calling it white even though it's like cream colored, but whatever, you know what I mean. I want to get it so that there's not a lot of like gapping or anything like that. So, okay. Also, I gotta do that thing again where I cut this off here and then put it there like that. Because that seemed to work out pretty well. All right. This video has gotten quite long, so I am going to stop it for now, and we will do step 2 next. We'll just, yeah, I'll do next step 2. I can't speak. I'll do step 2 either later today or tomorrow and put that up after I get that edited. So, but we did good. We got step 1, and that's the hardest part, which is getting all the fabric pieces down. We'll do some sewing and whatnot in the next part. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you will give it a try. It's a lot of fun. And also keep in mind, I'm having an auction this weekend on Saturday. And also I have a Patreon where you can get to see all my live streams. I have, how did I end up doing that? I have, or I do live streams several times a week on my Patreon for my Patreon folks. So if you are interested in my Patreon, the link is below. It only costs $1 a month, nothing extra. That's it, just measly $1. No hidden fees, no nothing. It's $1 a month, and you get to see all of my live stream all my live streams and stuff that I do that are private for my Patreon people. So the link to my Patreon is below. Check it out. And anyway, thanks for watching. I also have a store, a Zibbit store, where I sell things. I'm about to put up a bunch of Christmas stuff. So be sure to check that link out below in the description as well, so that you can see all the good stuff I got for Christmas. I haven't got it all up yet, so there is some stuff now, but if you keep checking, I've got some eyelash trim going up for Christmas that you can use, where you don't have to buy the whole like ball of eyelash trim. You can buy it like, you know, several yards for a couple bucks, and that'll get you through to Christmas. That'll get you through Christmas. This way you don't have to buy a bunch, because who the hell wants to buy a bunch of anything just for a holiday? Nobody. So stuff like that. Then I've got some cool organza ribbon that's like gold and really pretty. And I've got all kinds of stuff, some dyes that are coming out. I got sisal trees that are going to be put up, all kinds of stuff in the next week. So stay tuned for that, but you can check out what's in there for now. And I will talk to you all later. Make sure you do what you love and love what you do and be nice to people. Bye.